I just want to do the hardest thing I could possibly think of. And then everything else for the rest of the year, I'll be able to think, well, it can't be as hard as that. We did the Kidman last Easter, and it was 2 8-hour days back to back.
Really?
Yep.
With who?
With James.
A couple of these are going to drop off because they're not going to be possible, but I think we should have probably about a dozen guaranteed locked-in shots that are like high value.
Thinking about what Matt's about to do, having ridden the trail a couple of times and ridden a lot of the sections of the trail, it's really, really hard. I mean, you're talking about 6,000 meters of climbing in 260 kilometers with no big climbs. It's all just constant up and down, which is exhausting.
Could be hot, could be windy. Even things like, you know, what happens if I pick up a bike to jump over a fence and like twist my back weirdly. Little things like that. I'm worried about the things I can't control, which is a lot of.
The weather is actually looking like a real mixed bag. It looks like it's going to be quite good to begin with, but I have heard that there are some storms expected during the day. It all depends on where we are and where the storm is.
I think as well, like that whole region, you have to pay attention the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rocks, there's a lot of bumps, there's a lot of water courses that go through the road. It's not like a tarmac descent where you can just like sort of tune out a little bit. Like you need to be paying attention. What are your expectations for finishing times?
Yeah, I've been thinking, you know, sub 10, sub 10, sub 10. It's starting to seem more ambitious, but like sub 10 would be good.
And we can't talk to you.
No.
Can we give you negative feedback? Can we be mean to you? All you have to do now is ride it.
Yeah.
Unsupported means literally no support at all. So we are going to be there filming him, but we're not allowed to interact, we're not allowed to help, we're not allowed to talk to him. We are just background for him.
Yeah, I think success tomorrow is completing it primarily. Under 10 hours, if the conditions are good, I think is doable, but that's going to require like almost perfection.
Sumptuous. Is this where we're starting?
Yeah. Yeah, here I guess.
So Matt's planning to start north up in Kapunda, which is very red, very dusty, very dry. And then it sort of winds its way around sort of the back of the Adelaide Hills south down to Wollonga, which is, you know, usually famous for Wollonga Hill. So it covers a lot of different terrains. It feels like you're in the middle of the desert 1 hour and then in the middle of a lush sort of plantation forest, you know, the next hour.
Like nothing about it in the process of doing it is particularly fun. It's the being open to putting yourself in a tough position and being comfortable with the discomfort, I guess. I'm worried about what happens between hour 2 and an hour and a half before the finish. You can't be switched on 100% of the time over 4, 5, 6+ hour events. Like you need to be able to disengage the brain, run on autopilot for a little bit, but be able to bring the mind back to focus. So tomorrow morning, have an early start, have some breakfast, and then we get up and we go, basically. I'm thinking 6 a.m. roll out.
No, we can pin the door open. Just wedge some water boxes.
I think I've hit that point now where it's just like, just gotta do it now. No time to be nervous, no time to be scared, just get on with it.
Yep. about an hour in. Sun is starting to come up. Pretty spectacular out here.
Got through the paddock sections this morning, which are very slow. He'll be able to go quickly for the next bit because it's roads, pretty much.
2.5 hours in, so we're on track, but it is starting to look a bit overcast. I'm wondering if that rain that's forecast tonight might come in a bit earlier.
Once we hit that first forest, things start to get hard. We have the highest gradient of the day coming up the wall in the forest.
Is this like a potential like hiker bike scenario, or is he just gonna grind it?
So it's a hiker bike if you don't have the gears.
I thought it'd be bad, but I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. Yeah, used every gear I had. And somehow managed to get over it. Then you get into Mount Crawford and it's quite nice, ripping along these sort of fire road, access roads for the pine plantation. But you can carry a fair bit of speed through there, which was nice.
Hour 4, we're 100 k's in now, 160 to go. We've just come out of Mount Crawford. Got through pretty clean, just the one climb to deal with.
And you can pretty much A-line it into Mount Pleasant. So I went in with a plan of just keeping it really simple. Energy drink, that's just, you can get out the fridge like at any shop in Australia. Soft drink, because it's just a little bit of salt, caffeine, and a lot of sugar. So it sort of breaks down nicely into 3 main sectors. Kapunda to Mount Pleasant, and then Mount Pleasant to Macclesfield, and then Macclesfield to Wollonga. So you get through Mount Pleasant into pretty much the middle of nowhere. You go from feeling like you're near quite a lot of civilization to just feeling like you're out in the wild really quickly.
It's rocky, it's sandy, it's very rough, so that would have slowed him down. And also just for safety, he needs to take it easy through that because it's very easy to wash out a front wheel. As soon as you get out this side of Tunkillo, the gravel gets incredibly difficult.
That's where it got a bit feral for me, and it was really windy, not so much wet at that point.
So I've just ticked over 5 hours. The wind's kicking up, but the last section, which I was a bit nervous about because it was very sandy. So we're 7 hours in, 95 k's to go, 35 to the next resupply opportunity. We've got a pretty big stitch up section to deal with in about 20 k's though. So.
He's kind of broken the back of it now, so I'm not going to say it's easy to the end, but it's easier than what he's done.
So, it's been an interesting couple of hours. That were the hours I was scared of. It's been very windy, very wet, and just bashing through unmaintained tall grass, pinballing off ruts. But just come out of Macclesfield, in my mind, from here I'm home free. So we'll see how that works out for me.
Since Macclesfield, it's been horrendous. It's wet, it is very, very windy, and it seems like it's going to be a headwind for most of the last 50 k's, I reckon. So I think he's going to be very happy to get this done.
coming into the last sort of foresty section, it just bucketed down.
Right where it's close to sitting. Oh my god.
I couldn't see because I'd taken my glasses off and I had contacts in and they were full of grit. At that point, you're committed. You've ridden 200. At that point, you just get it done.
That's it. We're done. We're to the trailhead now.
All right.
It's a bit like, you know, running a marathon, but you're not a marathon runner. You do it and you suffer and you hate it in the moment, and then you get to the end. It's like a euphoric, like, I did it, and like, I proved to myself that I'm capable of doing this.
Hi. It's the strangest pain. Not ever a big pain, hey? I'm not going to have out of saying this, but I feel older than I did before I started this.
That's the sound of history being made, boys.
Yeah, we go through the hike.
Well, we kind of got
Oh, the rain.
Here comes 10 hours. What the hell was I thinking?